Aloha! Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis. Today, my co-host, Charlie, direct from the Chocolate Factory, the man Richardson right there.
You know
He's
it.
bringing the golden ticket. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff you've been doing in the Facebook group. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to see that.
Appreciate it, Tom. Appreciate it.
You've been talking to a lot of the people in the community and really, really great. So awesome.
Absolutely. It's been great getting to know everyone.
Yeah. Great. Well, welcome, everybody. We've got a great live show lined up for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to close this year with a bang and start off 2024 hitting the ground running. We're going to be talking about prospecting, specifically the foundation of any successful agency, right? So we're going to dive in deep to that. We're going to take your questions. We're going to do some shout outs. We're going to give away some Cash App money. We're going to have a good time. So grab a cool drink. I'm going to cue up the intro, and we'll see you back here in one momento.
It's time. The moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Oh, listen to that crowd out there, Charlie. They are fired up. They are fired up with the new intro there. Oh, please, come on. Settle down,
guys. Come on.
Please, I appreciate it. Enough. Yeah. Don't let that go to your head, Charlie. All that applause.
Too late, Tom. Too late.
Oh, too late. Too late. Well, welcome, everybody. What's up, Patty? Patty is joining us from YouTube. See, we've got Howard Bearden in the house. James. Sam, what's up, Sam? How you doing, man? I heard you had a little bit of a spill in the hospital. Hope you're doing all. Hope you're recovering well. Dorn, what's up? Or Jules, as he's going by now. Welcome. Man, how's everybody doing this week? Charlie, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Tom. Thanks for asking. How about yourself? You know, how are we doing this week? You had a busy week?
It has been a frustrating week on the front for me. Yes, there's just been a lot of not really not so much business wise, but life wise. So, man, let me just tell you a few things that have been going on with my week. So on Tuesday, my beautiful wife went to get up off the couch and something happened and completely threw out her back. So she has not been able to, I don't know if you're probably too young to remember this, Charlie, but there used to be this character that Tim Conover did, and he shuffled along real slow.
I don't think I know, but I can imagine.
So that's how my wife has been all week. It's hard for her to get up, for her to get down, and so there's that. So been doing a little of the extra load around with things, stuff like that. Then my dog Patches on Wednesday, he just got sick. He's having stomach issues and he was vomiting and I couldn't get him to stop. And so had to take him to the vet. Yeah. They did an x-ray. Nothing. I thought maybe he ate something and it was causing issues. Like he ate something not good. It was blocking. So that nothing in his stomach, they said. They did some blood work. All his organs are fine. They think he had some kind of bacterial thing. So they do this thing where they put a bunch of liquid under their skin and it slowly absorbs into their body so they don't get dehydrated. And then they give us some antibiotics to give him. But he's just been getting sick all over the house. So I've been running around the house for 3 days with this handheld vacuum cleaner, cleaning up all that, right? And he seems like after the antibiotics, he's getting better. I don't think it was Halloween candy because he's gotten into candy and chocolate and things like that before, and he's never had this kind of an issue, right? So I'm not really sure what's going on. They think it's some kind of bacterial thing. So that's happening. And then my oldest daughter came down this morning and was like, I have a sore throat. I was like, okay, well, we just need my youngest daughter to be sick. And
and then it's the trifecta of the whole thing.
And then we've got everybody. So that stuff has been going on behind the scenes of doing all the things that we do in our business, right? So working on a couple of big projects. So I had I did a training for our community on Tuesday, which there were some technical issues. Active Campaign wasn't sending out emails. GoToWebinar wasn't sending out reminders. So there weren't very many people on the training because they didn't see it. So I did that webinar live. We've been working on some projects in Offline Sharks that I'm dealing with too. So, all that stuff going on, and then all the live stuff in the background. And the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is because it ties in with what we're going to be talking about today, which is we said we're going to talk about how to end 2023 with a bang and start 2024. But what that really means is stuff is going to happen, right? Especially right now, we are coming into the personal busy season for almost everyone in the US and in other countries, right? The holidays are upon us. Yes. Before there's going to be Thanksgiving, and then there's going to be Christmas, and there's going to be New Year's Eve, and there's going to be a lot of outside activity, a lot of things that people are going to be needing to do, required to show up for. Like you have a lot of extra responsibilities and things that take up your time when the holidays come. But the holidays, you don't just have to have the holidays to do that, as my week is proof, right? Like it can just happen out of the blue, right? Like just all of a sudden 4 or 5 things start happening all at once. And you can find yourself in a not good position if you don't have your prospecting dialed in. More specifically, if you don't have a way for consistent prospecting to happen without your direct input. And I think that's the key, Charlie, right? Like, look, I've done it. I respect it. It's a great way when you just put your head down and you go out there and you get clients and you build your business. Nothing wrong with that. The problem with that is when this unexpected stuff comes up and you become indisposed, the prospecting goes down for however long you have to take to deal with whatever's going on in your life. And sometimes it's not short-term things. Health issues pop up with people all the time. Sam slipped, broke a bone, broke a femur, like on his back for a while. Like things can happen, right? So I'm not telling you guys all this to be a downer, right? I'm not trying to be a downer here, but I want to point out the reality of what our situation is. And, coming into the end of 2023, like the people that you're reaching out to, the contacts you're making, they've got a lot of stuff going on too. So it's not just about you, it's also about them. So how do we overcome that stuff? What do we do? How do we get our mindset right to know how to keep moving forward? And then more importantly, how do we develop consistent prospecting? You in for that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. I thought I stunned you into silence there.
Exactly. I was just processing.
It's like, what is going on? Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Dorn says, look, he took 5 months to be sick. Yeah. I mean, stuff can happen, right? Not just the holidays. So let's do this. So let's start off with some shout outs. Let's bring the spirit and the mood up and show everybody what is possible with what we're talking about, prospecting and getting clients and getting traction, right? Prospecting a key part of it. And then we'll dive into some details of how we're doing what I just talked about. Like I've had all that live stuff going on, but the prospecting in the agency has been happening, right? Like nothing that impacted me impacted the business in any way, right? And that's because we have systems, processes, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So first off, though, I want to do some shout outs. We like to celebrate the wins in our community every week. So I'm going to share my screen here.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Here we go. So first up, we've got Remote Millionaires member Brandon Stewart, who has been crushing it the past few weeks leading into the holiday. Signed up a $597 per month. So what is that? $12,000? $12,000 for the year. Subscription activated for Google Business Profile and Rank SEO. Man, what a great win, right? $600. So what is that? How much is that?
7,200 some.
There you go. Thank you, Charlie. I went to public schools, so you may have to do the math for me. So awesome work, Brandon. Congratulations. Kristen Bedard, new website build, storm damage claims contractor who needs a startup site, $1,000. The good old home services niche. Love it. So many possibilities there, right? The good old home services niche, putting $1,000 in Kristen's pocket. So awesome stuff. Next up, we've got Chandra, new sale, retargeting ads, $450. Excellent work. Excellent work. Devin Major landed a gig creating reels. So I love this slide because these two wins. So Devin landed a gig creating reels for an organization, 7 to 10 per month. I don't know what the amount is. I thought he said an amount in the thing, but that's okay. But what I love about this slide is both of these wins are from things that we brought to our community. So these wins are not from products that we created. These are from products that we brought to our community and we said, hey, look, these are good. This is a good thing. The retargeting and the reels, which is the video. And these, Devin and Chandra went out, took action and got results. Just a good reminder to you guys that the stuff that we bring to you for a reason, right? We bring it because it works, because we know you can get traction with it. So, big thumbs up to these guys. Congratulations. Awesome stuff. That is a combined total for the week of October 20th to November 3rd, $2,047. The grand total so far since the start of 2023, $1,301,391. Awesome work, everybody. I mean, give yourselves a pat. We got 2 more months, right? 2 more months. So we should get close to the 1.5 million mark. Yeah, hopefully more. Got there, take some action. If you implement some of the things we're going to be talking about today. So great stuff. Let me take a look at the notes here and see. Yep. Okay. All right. I just wanted to check something. Okay. Are you guys out there ready to dive in and talk about some prospecting? You let me know in the chat. Come on, guys. Let me know in the chat.
What are you guys saying?
Give me some likes. Give me some, as my daughters used to say, smash that like button. I have all these videos on my phone, Charlie, of my daughters when they were younger making videos like they saw on YouTube. And they go, everything is smash that like button.
I don't want to admit, Tom, I gave the old YouTube scene a shot as a kid,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's built into me,
So funny. And I see Jules Dorn gave me the sad face. Thanks, Dorn. But come on, I've only got likes from Howard and James right now. Come on, guys, give me some likes. We'll dive in. We'll dive in.
It's a tough crowd.
Yeah, man. People are just, what's going on? Doug, there we go. I don't know who this is, but if you grant StreamYard permission, you'll be able to show it. So, okay. Yeah, for Miranda. Yeah, if nothing else, for Miranda and Patches, not for me. I have to tell you guys. Patty, look at that. Throwing some shade. Oh, she's throwing some shade your way, Charlie.
Not needed.
Look at that. Oh, that's great. So what was I getting? Oh, I was just gonna say. So I'm so not right in the head, Charlie, because like whenever my wife or one of the kids gets sick, you know, like I'm really good about taking care of them for about 24 hours. And then after that, I become convinced that they're faking it so that I have to do a bunch of extra work. Right. And it's like, I have to work on that.
Is that a lot of extra work for you, Tom?
What's that?
If they're acting sick, is that a lot of extra work for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, yeah, I do more things, but it's all good. Yes. So
Right.
I want to talk about a couple things. So number one, let's talk about prospecting in general and consistent prospecting, because, you know, I've been on both ends of this, Charlie, where, you know, the thing that really clicked for me when I was first getting my agency going was walking into businesses, doing whatever it takes to get a client in. I didn't really have I had a good product to sell, something that was could be fulfilled easily, that they understood right away, that I could get checks for on the spot. But really the only other advantage I had outside of that was just my unwillingness to give up, right? To do whatever it takes to get a client. And that can be good for a while, but what would happen to me is I could maintain that for, you know, 60 days, 90 days. But then after that, like eventually I would get busy doing fulfillment. I get busy doing other stuff, and I just wouldn't have the same fire for the prospecting on a consistent basis. So, you know, that resulted in me always trying to look for ways to get my foot in the door with businesses, easy ways to do that, to shave off some of that prospecting resistance, right?
Absolutely.
And then also to try to look for ways to either generate inbound leads or remove myself from the prospecting process, which is ultimately what I did, right? And I did it by hiring an appointment setter. So I've been thinking a lot about this over the past few days, and I really do think that this is a critical thing to really wrap your head around when it comes to building your agency. And that is, it is too much for you to do yourself. You have to get the notion out of your head that you can just buckle down and get it all done somehow, some way, right? Maybe you can, but there will be a lot of banging your head against the wall in the process. So what is the answer to that, right? Like, another thing I've been thinking about is like, look, anybody can get a couple clients. Like, that's not that hard. If you just put your mind to it, you can go out and get a couple clients. But to build a 7-figure agency takes a lot of focused, long-term, concentrated action with a plan behind it, right? And you've probably heard people, the gurus out there, talk about this all the time. I mean, I know Vaynerchuk talks about this all the time, about how ideas are a dime a dozen. The key is execution, right? Yeah. The key is execution. So thinking that you're just going to start your agency and figure it all out is not a good thought process from the beginning, right? Like, you need to be looking for examples of people executing, doing what you want to do, preferably be able to get your hands on some of those execution models and implement them in your business from the get-go, right? I like to think of it like, imagine if somebody wanted to open up a McDonald's in your neighborhood, and they're like, you know what? Let's just put the building there, put all the equipment in. Let's just throw the doors open and we'll just figure it out as we go. Like,
don't reinvent the wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Well, and it would be a disaster, right? Like,
yeah,
the drive-through alone would be like a total mess, because you can't operate something like, and that's really what McDonald's did in the beginning, right? Like, they developed a blueprint, a playbook. They have systems and processes for everything. Everything is done efficiently, right? And their whole focus is getting every person in that location to just follow the process and execute well, right? Look at a football team. It's not always about the best players. It's not always about who has the best players. It's about who has the best execution, right? Who has the best execution. So how can you have the best execution day in and day out when it comes to prospecting. I believe the only way to do that is to remove yourself from the hard part of the prospecting. Meaning, if it is up to you to do all the initial contacting and nurturing of the relationship, it is going to be super difficult. You either have to have someone else do that initial part, because that is the part, the initial cold outreach. That is the part that just like drains your soul over time, right? Yeah. Because, and you probably know this from experience, Charlie, right?
Yeah. Day
it's just like, if you get a client, you're like on cloud 9, but the constant rejection and the, I don't want to hear from you, and the people that get irate, like it withers away your soul and your motivation day in and day out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, even Dorn says this. If prospecting was up to me, I'd never get a client. Yeah. I'm the same way. Like it can't be, right? So you have to figure out a way to remove yourself from the prospecting and do it. And so this is a great question. Let me talk about this. So the way that we have done this in the past is we hired an appointment setter. And what an appointment setter does is they do the cold outreach. So we give them a script and they dial businesses and email businesses for a set number of hours every day. And then when they find somebody that's interested, they set an appointment that we then take and close the deal. And that's a very standard model in the agency. Outbound cold calling, trying to set an appointment, and then you get on to close the deal. The problem with that model is, again, it is super difficult. The cold calling the businesses is, it's not super effective. Oh, look, there's our little
thumbs up.
The cold calling of businesses isn't super effective. You can get clients this way, but it takes, again, a lot of concentrated effort, a lot of calls, a lot of things have to happen to just get one client, right? So we took our thought process of, well, how can we get our foot in the door? How can we build a relationship and make this whole process easier, right? So if you've been with us for a while, you've seen the evolution of this process, but you might not have realized that that's what's going on. So the very first thing we said is like, okay, businesses are getting clobbered by a gazillion marketing companies. Everybody and their brother is calling the local businesses in your area saying, do you know your Google ranking could be better? Did you know your Google business profile isn't claimed? Like whatever it is, like they're getting tons of calls from people about that. They're also getting just tons of calls in general of just people trying to sell them stuff. So a business owner, when they pick up the phone and you're like, hey, it's ABC marketing, their first reaction is like, oh my God, how do I get this person on the call, right? Like, yeah, they don't really care if you freaking have the best thing since sliced bread, right? Like they're not going to give you the time because they just want to get you off the call. They're busy. They're a business owner. So our first kind of aha moment was like, oh, we cannot be that person. So we can't be seen in the same group as those people. So how do we get out of that? So the solution that we came up with is what ultimately became our agency growth machine course, which is we set up a resource site and we can do them based on geolocation or niche. And we do all of our prospecting from that brand. The agency becomes the brand behind the brand, right? So all of our outreach is coming from this new brand that we've created. In our case, it's called HawaiiThrive.com. So we now do all our prospecting from the Hawaii Thrive Initiative. And I want you to pay close attention to the psychology there, right? Like we picked that name very carefully. It sounds almost like a nonprofit or a government organization, right, Charlie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So when you
want to do everything you can to keep yourself in the best position. And
yeah. So when you call them up and you're like, hey, I'm Tom with the Hawaii Thrive Initiative, they're like, well, they don't even really know what that is. Like, it sounds kind of intriguing, but Like their shields they're not automatically at red alert thinking you're a salesperson, right?
Exactly.
So our first step in this process was, this is what we had our appointment setters do. So in the beginning we did it, but then we wanted to remove ourselves from the prospecting as quick as possible. So we hired appointment setters to do this. So the appointment setter calls the business and says, hey, I'm with the Hawaii Thrive Initiative. You have a free online profile on our site. Boom. We just want to make sure the information is correct. And then at the end, they'd say, by the way, we could help you with this or this or this. Would you be interested in scheduling a strategy call? And that was the process we were using. Very effective. We were able to grow the agency. We hit 100, we hit 200, we hit 300. We were around the 500 to 600K a year mark at the agency using this strategy. But there are frustrations and things, right? Because like you've got to deal with appointment setters. They come, they go, all of that sort of stuff. So we were constantly looking for ways to improve this situation. Now, some of you might be saying, well, why don't you just go hire a full-time sales rep? Well, here's the problem with hiring a full-time sales rep when you're not ready. A full-time sales rep expects you to have your shit together. Like they expect you to know what you're selling, how to sell it, what the pricing is going to be. Yeah. Like you have to know your stuff.
You need to know your sales process if you're going to get a salesperson.
What's that?
You need to know your entire sales process before you get a full-time salesperson.
Yeah, and it needs to be somewhat effective. Like you need to be able to show them that, like, yes, we can in fact sell what we're doing here, right? And like you have to have your fulfillment dialed in. So again, it comes back to what I talked about in the beginning, execution. Just saying like, oh, I'm going to go get a full-time sales rep. You think that's the answer, but you get a full-time sales rep. And if your execution isn't dialed in, it's never going to work out. It's never going to work out because you can't execute the thing that you're trying to do, right? So we're using appointment setters, which are easier to manage while we're getting all of our execution in line, meaning we're figuring out our fulfillment, we're figuring out our team for that, we're figuring out the process of handoff for when we get client work. We're building all that stuff out. We're developing the standard operating procedures, the SOPs, so that when we have all that stuff together, we can bring a full-time sales rep on and we can say, hey, here's the things we're selling. Here's the marketing collateral you need to sell that stuff. Here's the kind of people we go after. Here's who we have the most success with. Here's a bunch of our clients that we're getting killer results for that you can use as testimonials. Now a full-time sales rep walks into that and they just start crushing it right out of the gate, right? But until you're at that point, you can't really hire a full-time sales rep. So, then what? Then what do you do? Well, we just keep pushing forward with these little ideas like, well, how do we make this better? How can we figure out a better way to do this? And so about 6 months ago, we were like, man, wouldn't it be great if we could take the appointment setter out of the initial contact and we could generate leads using just cold email? Like, what if we could figure out a way to do the process that I just talked about, where the cold email would do all of the heavy lifting, right? That way we wouldn't need the appointment setter at that point. Like we could just load in a list of leads. They would get emails that would talk to them about the free online profile. They would be able to just reply yes or no directly in the email. Then it would make them an offer to upgrade their profile with some additional things so we could actually generate some cash flow from the cold email. And then ultimately, when those, it would end up with people being booked on our calendar, people that we knew were interested. And then we could just deal with the people that raised their hand and said, I'm interested in what you have. No more hangups, no more dealing with the irate people. Like we're only going to be talking to people that are interested. So that's what we set out to do. Now, why weren't we just doing cold email from the get-go? Because we tried it and it sucked. Like we couldn't even get people to open the emails. Right. Yeah. And like, then we were trying to figure out, well, what softwares do we use? And like, you can't just load a list in and send out one email. You have to send out a series of emails. And then you say, well, okay, so now I got to figure out how to do the automations. I got to figure out what each and every single email says. And then what happens when somebody replies? Well, that needs a whole nother set of automations. And then what happens if somebody opts out? That needs a whole nother set of automations, right? So
you got to plan all the personalization as well if you want to see success for your cold emails, because that's the one thing. If you don't have a personalized cold email, you ain't getting anywhere with that.
Dead in the water, right? Dead in the water. Yeah. And so this is why, like, on the training on Tuesday, I talked about GMAS did this thing where they analyzed the thousands of cold email campaigns that went through their system. And out of all of those campaigns, the average open rate was like 1 to 5%. Horrible, right?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Atrocious.
Yeah. And the personalization is the key. So we put a team together to build out a cold email machine. So it was myself, Nick, Jason Moran, who's host of the show, and Richie Cronin. And we built out a cold email machine that does all this stuff. And I'm going to show you guys this. Hold on. Let me bring this over here. Because people have been asking us, like, well, what does this thing look like? So here, I'm going to share my screen.
You got it this time. You got it this time, Tom.
I do. I have it this time. So look, and I'm going to blow this up, and we're going to go in on separate areas. So this is a flow chart of everything that goes on inside our cold email machine. Okay. And we are going to talk about this. So this process that we have set up right here, we're getting one blast we sent out. We got an 82% open rate. Another one, we got a 48%, 44%. Like, we are cracking over a 40% open rate with cold email.
Unheard of.
Yeah, it's insane. I was just watching some guys talk back and forth on a forum the other day where they were like, they're getting 2 and 3%. And I was like, guys, you can get better than that. So how are we getting those open rates? Well, number one is what Charlie said. The emails that go to the business are very personalized, but how do we do that without spending a bunch of time personalizing them? Well, we use our old secret method of giving them a free online profile. So we have an email that gets automatically populated with their business info, and it makes this email very, very specific to them, right? And it's got it just seems very personal, even though it's a very general email. So that's how we get their attention. That's how we do it. There are some things that we do with cleaning the list, like making sure we remove duplicates. Like, you don't just want to scrape a list or buy a list and then just start sending emails. That's a horrible strategy. So we do some things to the list, like making sure they have problems we can fix, making sure there's no duplicates, making sure we remove like all the big corporations and like the ones that are never going to turn into clients. Then we load that list into this cold email machine, and this cold email machine does all of the hard work. So let me walk you through this process.
Let's do it.
And you will see, like, you can probably already see right now that, like, no wonder you can't make cold email work, right? No wonder. Like, because look at this. Look what has to be built out to be successful. I mean, first you got to find an offer and a way to approach them that gets their attention and doesn't automatically shut them down. Then you got to figure out the automations, the sequences, the emails, the offers, all that stuff. So let's walk through this real quick. So we just, this is a great question. Okay. So where do you get the lists? We scrape them. So we use a tool called Lead Kahuna to scrape the email list. And the great thing about Lead Kahuna is that it also delivers data points about their online presence. So I'm going to give you a big picture of prospecting. If you sell websites, the only types of lists you should be building are people that have sucky websites.
Yeah.
Or no website at all, right? That's the only kind of list you should be building. If you do social media, you should be building a list of people that aren't posting to their social media. Like, you want to start with a list of people that have the problem that your service solves on the back end. So when you get them to the end of the process, it's like you already knew from the get-go they had the problem that you were going to pitch them. And so when you pitch them, it's a win-win. You have way better success that way. Most people just throw a bunch of businesses in and then just send out an email about SEO, and they have no idea whether the person needs SEO or doesn't, right, Charlie?
And they're ranking the top, like Nick Ponte Marketing at the top of the thing. It's like, well, you could have the best cold email machine in the world, and you're not going to close them because they don't have a problem.
Right. Yeah. You don't even know, right? So making sure that they have a problem you can fix is key. And Lead Kahuna gives a bunch of different data points that we can sort the list by and all that stuff. And so we build our list that way. Then we load them into the Reach machine, and you can see what happens here, right? So we add the contacts. Okay. Then there's an automation for whether they replied to any of the emails in the automation. Okay. So if they reply no, like if they don't reply, then it automatically updates them to no response, and we stop emailing them. This is critical, okay? Because if you're emailing a big list of people that aren't engaging, that is a really good way to get your email service provider shut down and not be able to email anymore.
Say hello to Spambox.
Yeah, say hello to Spambox. And that is also, too, why, like, if you just scrape a list and you don't remove the duplicates and you don't do all that stuff, like, you could put your ability to send in jeopardy, because when you're emailing duplicates, of course, they're not going to engage. So you want to set yourself up for the best engagement, right? So the email machine automatically does this. So it automatically takes out those people so that we're only dealing with the engaged leads. Okay. So when somebody replies back to our email, which, by the way, we're getting about, when we send out a list of 1,000, if we send out to 1,000 cold emails, we get about 20% to reply, yes, they want the free listing. That's really good. So remember, 5% was the high end of the open rate. We're getting 3 to 4 times that to actually reply to us, big difference. And we're getting 5 to 10% of that to take us up on a paid upgrade. So most of the time, we're getting more people to pay us than most people get to even open their emails. So when the person replies yes, we know, because they say, yes, I want the free online profile, we know that they have intent. They're interested. Like, they obviously want to get the word out about their business, right? Make sure the information's. So the system automatically updates if they say no, it automatically updates the contact field to not interested. Okay. But if they say yes, then it triggers this new set of automations that says, great, here's what we need from you so we can build your free listing, right? The automation starts automatically. The automation sends the emails. And then in that email sequence, when it says, this is the information we need for your free listing, by the way, right now we have a special offer where you can upgrade your online profile and get all of this extra stuff, plus a plus a promo video, plus a website audit, all this stuff that normally would cost you over $600. For the next 72 hours, you can get it for $49. And that's the upgrade offer we make them. So when they say yes, they automatically get that upgrade offer, right? And then the machine, it does all its stuff, right? And if they say yes to the paid upgrade, it sends them a link to pay their invoice. When they pay the invoice, it sends them a link to an onboarding form. There's a whole funnel built out with, there's like a onboarding complete, like all payment received, all that stuff. And then once they go through all that, they get an email back that says, hey, we're working, we call it a featured partner business package. We're working on a featured partner business package for you. Please schedule, when it's done, we'll let you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So now they've got that. Let's see. So they've done our upgrade. Now we're down here, right? The invoice paid or not. By the way, there's like reminder automations. I mean, all kinds of stuff in here, right? Here's everything that the system does. Here's when they complete the onboarding, right? Now, once they complete the onboarding, right, then we set up their listing, their updated listing. We create the things that we told them we would create for $49. All of them are really easy to create, by the way. We just use templates. We just use templates for them. Super easy. Then once we create all that stuff, we say, hey, we finished your featured partner package. Please schedule an activation call so we can go over everything that you're receiving. Now think about that for a minute. They're going to come to that call because you're going over the things they paid you money for. Like, they're going to show up to that call. So, and Tom, those things they paid you money for.
Tom, what you're telling me is I'm being paid to be on a call. I'm being paid to be on a call.
Yeah, you're getting paid to be on this call with the person. Yeah. What a 180 degrees from typical prospecting, right? Yeah. A complete shift from how most people are doing it. Most people, and we were doing this up until recently, we were just trying to get them on a free strategy call that we were spending our time, money, and resources on, and then they weren't purchasing, right? Like, now we have them paying us to be on what is basically the same strategy call. We call it an activation call, but it's really a strategy call where we're going to pitch them higher services. Now, when they get on that call, we go over everything that they paid, that they got for the $49. So 30 minutes before they get on that call, they get an email that has a link to the promo video, a link to this ebook we send them, a link to their upgraded profile. And then 10 minutes before the call, they get a link to the website audit. So think about that. Right before we get on the call with them, they've got all of this stuff that we delivered. Like, we've built up our credibility, and now they're getting on a call with us, and we're going to use those things we sent them. We're going to go over that stuff, and then we're going to use that website audit to sell them additional high ticket, right? High ticket sales, right? So,
product.
Yeah. And by the way, so Dorn, I mean, this is what what are we going to apply to? What do you mean? Like, this is the prospecting method we're driving all of our Remote Millionaires members to doing. Like, this is the key. We're getting ready to update the members area with this, but like, this is where anyone in Remote Millionaires, this is what we want them doing. We want them doing reach first and foremost, right? And then they can layer other stuff on there. Yeah. So that's people that take the paid upgrade, but you might be saying, well, Tom, like, that's a small percentage. What about all these people that just said, yes, I want the free listing, but they didn't buy anything? Well, we give them what we call a courtesy call. So we just call them up and say, hey, this is Tom. I just want to give you a courtesy call. I own Hawaii. I'm the owner of HawaiiThrive.com, or I work for HawaiiThrive.com. I just wanted to make sure our team set up your online profile correctly. I mean, look at the positioning and credibility there too. You have a team, you're an owner, like all of that stuff is really, really authority building for you. And then you say, I just want to make sure they did it right. Are you happy with it? Is all the information correct? Yes. Okay, great. Well, awesome. I noticed that you didn't take us up on the special $49 offer. Was there a reason for that? Do you remember what was in there? Like, it's a great deal. It's over $600 worth of stuff. It's only $49. Would you be interested in taking that now? Now you could do that approach, right? Or you could do the courtesy call, go over everything that's correct. And at the end you say, hey, by the way, while my team was setting up your listing, I noticed that your Google business profile isn't claimed. Like, you definitely need to get that claimed. Do you have somebody in your organization right now that can do that for you? If not, we happen to be running a special. We could do it for you for $197.
Boom.
Yeah. So that's right. Dorn is right on the money. A warm courtesy call, right? So here's the magic of what happens here with this Reach Machine. All of this build out, all of these emails, all of this does all the heavy lifting and basically just hands you warm and hot leads that are interested in what you have to sell. And you don't have to be involved in any of it. The only work you have to do in this process is build the lead list that you load in. So if you just spent 30 minutes a day building a list and cleaning it and just loading new lists in every day, like, all of this prospecting would be happening without your real direct involvement. And all you would need to do is log into your reach machine and just deal with the people that have said, hey, I'm interested. I'm raising my hand. This is what I want to do. Right? Does everybody see the power in this?
Without a doubt, so. I mean, it's nice to see, you know, not having to deal with 5 clicked phones on you every day, you know, just people putting the phone down on you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a game changer. Like, we are so pumped about this system. Like, this is something we've been trying to get together, implement, and do for a long time. The reason we're pushing every RM member to do this is because this thing works, right? We just sent out a blast the other day in the agency. We got like 26 free offer takers. We're getting paid upgrades. We're setting up activation calls. Like, this just flat out works, right? So the reach is what we call this. So I see somebody ask about this. Yeah. What's the difference? So we call this cold email machine the reach cold email machine, right? And you can see, I mean, this is everything you need to set up, right? Well, look, here's the deal. You can have our team set all of this up for you. Like, our team will set all of this up for you. We'll build everything out, and we will give you all of our already proven emails, and you'll even be able to do our offer. Like, we'll even set up a resource site for you. And then we'll build all this out so you can have a reach machine. So you don't have to deal with all of the trouble we had to go through to create this thing, right? I mean, it took 4 of us. We spent a lot of money. We spent a lot of time, but we did it. We got it. Now you can shortcut all that. And if you're interested in this, you can just pay us to set this up for you. Okay. So if you're interested in that, if you would like us to set this up for you, I'm going to give you guys a link. You just go to offlinesharks.com/cold email setup. We charge $14.97 to set all this up for you. And not just one, we'll set up unlimited ones for you. So if you want to target multiple areas and all that stuff, you can get unlimited setups of not just the reach machine, but also the resource websites, right? So you're actually getting 2 things here. You're getting our complete directory site software with all of that, plus you're getting the reach machine, and our team will set it up for you and then help you. We'll walk you through the process. We'll be there to help you get everything up and running. We have a private school community that people that have already taken us up on this offer are in, all talking about what they're doing, the results they're getting, that kind of stuff. Let me, I'll show you guys that. I mean, we have Richie, we have Jason, we have a couple of very specific software tech people in here to help when people have questions, anything like that. Like, you can just see, I mean, look at this, win, first premium listing, right? This is the one I was talking about with we did in our agency, right? So lots of traction in the cold. Oh, you guys can't see that. Or can you see that? Can you see?
No, we saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't sharing my screen there for a minute. It's like, okay. So, I mean, amazing deal, right? Amazing deal. So, where did I don't know where my the schematics one. Oh, there it is. Gotcha.
Nice.
Takes me a minute to figure it out. I was like, I thought I had this as a right. So look, this system was a lot to build out, and you are not going to find a better deal anywhere than having us just build all this out for you for $1,500. Like, you could not, if you just wanted to get the software that we use, it would be almost double that price. It would be $3,000 for the year just for the software. And right now, all you have to do, you pay us $1,500 and you will get the software included. Plus, we'll set all of this up for you. So it is a great deal. Like, you can't find anything like this anywhere else, right? I don't know anyone else that would be willing to give you what they're actually using in their working 7-figure agency to get clients. And I mean, we give it all to you. We give you the emails, the offers, we give you the templates, we show you how to do all the fulfillment. Like, it's a complete package. So if you guys are interested in our team doing it for you, just go to offlinesharks.com/cold email setup. And yeah, you can jump in. It's a really, really great deal.
I mean, Tom, I know I wouldn't want to set that up all by myself. Make that.
Yeah, no, you won't. Sometimes you're like, well, just send me that schematic and I'll do it myself. I'm like, have at it, Tiger.
So crazy. So crazy.
In 2 weeks, you'll be back. Like, here's $1,500. Yeah, I saw. What's really great about this too is this is something that Richie and Dorn have been doing. They just did a 2-hour call on Wednesday where Richie and Dorn walked through in detail the Reach machine and help people get traction. So really, really good stuff. Those guys are killing it with the support and all those things. So awesome work. All right. Let me see. I didn't. Boy. Woo.
Read out.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. I was going there. Yeah.
Did have one question. I'm pretty sure was the initial, after the free listing, the premium listing, a one-time charge or monthly? Am I right to say it's a one-time charge for the so that's the audit, the
yeah, so it's $49 for the year. And we do that on purpose, right? Like, our goal is not to make a bunch of money selling those little feature partner packages, right? Our goal is to make them such an irresistible offer that we start the relationship and we get them to pay us, because whenever somebody comes in, right? So this is the Reach. So this is the Reach program, this setup. Like, you'll get all of that stuff. You'll get a whole members area and things like that too. And our team will set everything up for you. So yeah, $14.97. I mean, it's a killer deal, right? If you guys need more info, like if you're like, oh, look, I want some more info, you can watch the replay of the training I did on Tuesday. If you go to offlinesharks.com/your email machine, you can rewatch the training and see. I didn't go through this schematic. This is the first time I've ever shared the schematic of all of the individual breakdowns and things like that. But I do go over the automations and the things like that and the whole prospecting process and how we turn them into high ticket clients. I actually, on the training, which I didn't do here today, I go through the actual scripts, like the activation call script, all of that stuff. I show the emails, like the email that we send out that gets the high open rates. You'll see all that in the training. So, if you're like, oh, I'm just not sure, Tom, I want some more info, go to offlinesharks.com/your email machine and watch it there. But if you're like, look, I want a prospecting system set up that I don't have to be involved in every day. I want the cold email to be doing all the heavy lifting, and I only want to deal with people that are interested in what I have to sell. Then just have us set it up for you, and just go to offlinesharks.com/cold email setup. So, okay, I want to do a couple questions here too. Yeah. Lynette says, I'm so confused. I did the AGM. So Lynette, AGM is that's the offer that we use in Reach. Okay. So like the thing that we have found that works the best to get open rates and traction is the free online profile. And we do that with our AGM site. So this cold email system is really a way to automate getting people on your agency growth machine site and closing deals without having to have an appointment setter, without having to have a full-time sales rep, without having to do any cold calling, which is how we did the original AGM system, right? So this is really an automated way to build, grow, and get traction with your AGM machine, right? Now, if you already have a resource site set up, then we'll set another one up for you so you can have two. If you don't, then we'll just set one up for you. It's included. We'll do all that stuff.
Deal. So Paddy actually said, what's in the $49 package? So the one that we actually give them the premium listing, what's inside of it?
Great question. So we include an ebook that's all about how to optimize your Google business profile. And it's already done. So we give you that actual ebook. All you have to do is put your business info in it. And then we give them a free promo video, which is really simple. We use a Canva video template and we just add their information to it. And that's how we create. It's like a little 20, 30-second promo video that we send them. And then the last thing is we give them a website Google Business Profile audit. So when we get on that activation call, the audit is really our secret selling tool, right? Because when we go into the audit, we can say like, look, you're not ranking on page 1. Look, your website has some issues. Like, these are all the things that are wrong with your website. Might be time to redo your site, right? We notice you're not posting on social media. Do you have somebody in-house that can do that? Like, we could do that for you. So do you see how that all ties in and how we're selling our additional services there? So this is completely separate. So it's not the same thing. So you're talking about AGM. You still need to get the reach thing separate, right? Like, I mean, look at this. I don't know. I don't know a nice way to say this, but we can't do all of this work by our team and it be $47 a month. Like it's
already I think on the lower side.
Yeah. So like, you know, we had a couple options, you know, when we were pricing this out, right? We were like, well, what do we do? Like, we wanted to be able to over deliver, to be able to give you the best support, to make sure you have success. And to do that, and with the amount of work it takes from our team to set these things up for each person, you know, this price is a steal. $14.97 to have us do all this. Plus you get a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't even go over. Like, if you want to go watch that training, you'll see even more stuff. So yeah, but the resource site is the foot in the door that you're going to lead with. And if you don't have one set up, we'll just set it up for you. We include that. If you do have one set up and you want another one, we'll do that. You can use it whenever, right? So we'll actually set up as many as you want. Yes, exactly. This works hand in hand with AGM. Okay.
Just looking if we have any more questions. Don't think so.
Yep. So, and by the way, like, we are continually updating this, refining it, you know, making changes, making it better. So here's the way like the updates and things like that work, right? Because the resource site is software. So if I'm going to go through two scenarios with you. If you're a current AGM member, you are paying $497 per year to have AGM. When you join Reach, we cancel that payment right away, and you just have Reach. And then it's the same. If you want to keep all of the updated stuff and all that stuff, it's $497 the next year. Does that make sense? We have to do it that way because it takes a lot to maintain the software, to do the updates. We're working on some new stuff that we're bringing out with it, plus all the machine and all that, right? So,
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, look, we're at the top of the hour. Oh, we still have one more thing we need to do. Hold on. I got to do this real quick. Let me find it. Where'd it go? All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
You're talking no matter, Charlie.
The talking does not matter one bit.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, look, we love to give away some Cash App money to the people that go to the shout out page and say, great job, way to go. Let me go here. Our winners today are Jerry Wright and Michael Howard. Congratulations, Jerry and Michael. Congratulations. Awesome stuff. Well, look, hey, here's the deal. If you want our team to set it up, go to coldemailsetup.com. If you want more info, go to offlinesharks.com, your email machine. Also, if you have any questions about anything, you know, feel free to reach out to Charlie in the group. Right, Charlie? Do that.
Drop me a message. Ask me any questions.
Drop him a message. Ask him your questions. He can get you answers. And then, yeah, excited. Look, this whole reach cold email system, this is the last time we're going to be rolling this out this year. And, we were talking about ending 2023 with a bang, getting traction in 2024. We talked about, well, what happens when all of these lifey issues come up? How do you keep the momentum going? Well, this is the way we're doing it, by removing ourselves from the prospecting process and automating as much of the grunt work as we can. And that's exactly what this does. You don't need to hire anybody. You don't need to hire a full-time sales rep. You don't need to hire an appointment setter. You just set this up and it'll do the hard work, and you just deal with the people that are interested. Now, once you start getting traction, you are absolutely going to want to hire an appointment setter to call everybody that replied yes to the free listing. Dan is closing those people right and left with a $97 upgrade offer, right? Like, he's doing great. As you get traction, yes, you're going to want to bring in maybe a full-time sales rep and use this machine to feed them the leads. Charlie, how appealing is it to a salesperson when you say, hey, when you come work for me, I have a consistent flow of inbound leads that you can deal with?
You couldn't be happier. You could not be happier.
Right? That's exactly a game changer for a sales rep, because they're like, so you're going to, like, this is the thing that can provide the leads. So, yeah, good stuff. Woo. All right. Listen, everybody, man. Yeah, you'll want to look at this. Awesome. Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Charlie, thanks for being my co-host. I am not going to be here next week. You are going to see Richie Cronin, and I don't know who the guest is going to be, but I am going to be in Provo, Utah, going to watch my Oklahoma Sooners play the BYU Cougars. So looking forward to that. It's going to be cold, probably a night game. Going to be some fun.
Tom, that's completely over my head, being across the water.
Well, it's American football.
Is that your American football?
Yeah, American college football. So I'll be doing that. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe. Practice aloha. See you back here next week. Same shark time, same shark channel. See you later, everybody.
See you later, everyone.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.